Hello everyone and welcome to the lecture on AWS budgets. So this lecture will contain all these topics. What is AWS budgets? Budget types, update frequency, notifications, consolidated billing, best practices, AWS budgets and cost explorer integration, reporting your budget matrix with budget reports. So what is AWS budgets? AWS budgets allows you to track and take action on your AWS cost and usage, providing a comprehensive tool for managing your cloud expenses. You can use AWS budgets to monitor, aggregate utilization and coverage metrics for your reserved instances, RIs, or savings plans, giving you insights into your long-term commitments. AWS budgets enables simple to complex cost and usage tracking, adaptable to various levels of budget management needs. You can set a monthly cost budget with a fixed target amount to track all costs associated with your account, with alerts for both actual, after accruing, and forecasted, before accruing spends. AWS budgets allows setting a monthly cost budget with a variable target amount, growing by 5% each month. You can configure notifications for 80% of your budgeted amount and apply actions such as automatically applying a custom IAM policy to restrict resource provisioning. So you can build all this automation. So let's say if you feel that you can have 80% maximum spend, so after 80% it can trigger some kind of automation and it will apply an IAM policy so that nobody cannot create any more resources. You can set a monthly usage budget with a fixed usage amount and forecasted notifications to ensure you are staying within service limits for a specific AWS service and under AWS free tier offerings. AWS budgets offers the option to set a daily utilization or coverage budget to track your reserved instances or savings plans with notifications via email and Amazon SNS topics when utilization drops below 80% for a given day. So all these things you can do with AWS budgets. So basically it's a tool to monitor your spends and how to stay within some kind of a limit. It can be daily, it can be monthly. So you can have all kind of automation, you can have all kind of notification alerting built on top of this. So this is the main service to control all your cost on AWS. So let's see the budget types. So first one, cost budgets, and this will plan. So this is used to plan how much you want to spend on a service. Usage budgets, and this is to plan how much you want to use, to use one or more services. So this is for service level and how much you want to use a particular service. So it's a usage, and cost is how much money you want to spend. Then reserved instances RI utilization budgets, and this defines a utilization threshold and receive alerts or notification when your reserved instances usage falls below that threshold, and this lets you see if your RIs are unused or underutilized. Reserved instances coverage budgets, and with this you can define a coverage threshold and receive alerts when the number of your instance hours that are covered by reserved instances fall below that threshold. This lets you see how much of your instance usage is covered by a reservation. Next one is savings plans utilization budgets, and this defines a utilization threshold and receive alerts when the usage of your savings plans falls below that threshold. This lets you see if your savings plans are unused or underutilized. Savings plans coverage budgets. This defines a coverage threshold and receive alerts when your savings plans eligible usage that is covered by savings plans fall below that threshold. This lets you see how much of your instance usage is covered by savings plans. So next is update frequency. AWS budgets information is updated up to 3 times a day, and updates typically occur between 8 to 12 hours after the previous update. And budget tracking capabilities. So budgets, with AWS budgets you can track your unblended cost amortized cost and blended cost. Budget flexibility. Budgets can include or exclude charges such as discounts, refunds, support fees and taxes. Optional notifications. So you can set up optional notifications that warn you if you exceed or are forecasted to exceed your budgeted amount for cost or usage budgets, or you fall below your target utilization and coverage for reserved instances or savings plans budgets. Notification delivery methods. So notifications can be sent to Amazon SNS topic, email address or both. So SNS can send to email also, but through SNS it's possible to send to mobile push notification SMS and other channels as well. Consolidated billing. So in organizations using consolidated billing, the management account can use IAM policies, identity and access management policies, to control budget access for member accounts. By default, member account owners can create their own budgets, but cannot create or edit budgets for other users. So this we are talking about an AWS organization where we have multiple AWS accounts. So you have AWS accounts when you register, but if you have more than one AWS account, it can be part of AWS organization. So custom roles with specific permissions can be created to allow users to create, edit, delete or read budgets in a specific AWS account. Cross-account usage is not supported in the consolidated billing structure for AWS budgets. So only it's part of AWS organizations which are part of same organization. So we have management account and member accounts, but cross-account access is different. Like there are two accounts which are not part of an organization. They are isolated, separate AWS accounts, and it's not supported, this consolidated billing feature. A budget is only visible to users with access to the account that created the budget and with access to the budget itself. For example, a management account can create a budget that tracks a specific member account's cost, but the member account can only view the same budget if they receive access to the management account. So some best practices: user access and permissions. So when granting user access to create budgets in the AWS billing and cost management console, additional permissions are necessary. For programmatic access to the budgets API, it is advised to create unique user roles with precise access controls. Budget actions and managed policies. Budget actions can be implemented using two AWS managed policies, one for users and another for budgets. These policies ensure proper execution of configured actions and are automatically updated with new functionalities. When using budget actions with Amazon EC2 auto scaling groups, additional steps are required to prevent instances from being automatically restarted or replaced. Budget settings. Setting budgets on a recurring basis is recommended to ensure continuous alert coverage. Cost budgets can be aggregated by various cost types and can include or exclude specific charges. AWS billing data, which a budget uses for monitoring, is updated at least once per day. Budget alerts. Budget alerts can be sent to up to 10 email addresses and one Amazon SNS topic per alert. Alerts can be based on actual or forecasted values, with actual alerts sent once per budget period and forecasted alerts potentially triggering multiple times. Forecast-based alerts require approximately 5 weeks of usage data to generate accurate predictions. Amazon SNS topics for budget alerts. So when using Amazon SNS topic for budget alerts, proper permissions and subscriptions must be set up. Multi-factor authentication (MFA) is recommended to enhance account security. Tags and access control. Tags can be used to control access to AWS budget. Tags can be used to control access to AWS budget resources and implement resource level permissions in IAM policies. This improves governance and information security by allowing specific users, roles, and actions to be permitted on AWS budget resources. Tags can be added, viewed, and removed using AWS Budgets console or API operations. However, it is important to note that AWS Budgets does not support tags for cost allocation, meaning tag information will not appear in cost and usage data reports. So these are the best practices, And coming to talking about point 5 a little bit. So the reason why we have to enable MFA for all budgeting configuration is, let's say some hacker has hacked into your account, and they will go and see whether you have any alert setup, and they will disable that. So it will be harder to disable if you have set up MFA. So what they will do, they will disable any alerts, and then they will like spin up maximum possible expensive resources. So, and you will not be knowing. So unless somebody goes and checks by themselves, and you will. So it's a common thing, like we will not be checking our email on a daily basis. So it will be realized much later when you will see, or when you will see all your AWS account has accrued a lot of expenses. Okay, next is AWS Budgets and Cost Explorer integration. So Cost Explorer graph in AWS Budgets. So when you create a budget in AWS Budgets, there is a different service, Cost Explorer. So a Cost Explorer graph is provided to help visualize your incurred cost and usage. First time budget creation. If Cost Explorer is not yet enabled, the graph will initially appear blank. AWS Budgets will automatically enable Cost Explorer when you create your first budget. It may take up to 24 hours for the graph to appear after Cost Explorer is enabled. So note, you can proceed with creating your budget even if Cost Explorer is not yet enabled. And for quicker access to cost data, consider enabling Cost Explorer manually before creating your first budget. Okay, next is reporting your budget matrix with budget reports. AWS Budgets allows you to configure reports to monitor the performance of your existing budgets on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. These reports can be delivered up to 30 email addresses, providing flexible monitoring options for your budget matrix. You can create up to 50 reports for each standalone AWS account or AWS organization's management account. The pricing is straightforward. Each budget report costs 1 cent USD per delivery, regardless of the number of recipients. This means a daily report costs 1 cent per day, a weekly report 1 cent per week, and monthly report 1 cent per month. For organizations using consolidated billing, the management account can use IAM policies to control budget access for member accounts. By default, member account owners can create their own budgets but cannot manage budgets for others. However, IAM policies can be used to grant member accounts permissions to create, edit, delete, or read budgets for the management account, which allows for delegated budget administration if required or if needed. And that's all. Thanks for watching.